Alrighty, guys. Hello, welcome back to Xanthus Gaming. We're here today in 7 Days to Die, and I'm in a new house. I mentioned in the League video, but in case you didn't watch that, I got a promotion with my job. I am now branch manager for Reno, San Francisco Bay Area, and um, Sacramento, California. So we had to move locations. As a result, we had to move houses. And so the acoustics are very different in our new house versus they were in my old office studio setup. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. I'm not entirely sure how it's sounding, but that's neither here nor there for what we're doing today. Today we're going to go ahead and design a base. I've played around with several bases. I don't think I have videos for a couple of these. These are like new design ideas I was working around with. This one does work to a degree, but I didn't love it. We're going to try to expand upon the old Galaxy Brain base idea that I had over here. If you guys remember, this was like one of my favorite bases. The idea was pretty simple in that they kind of passed through the center here, and then they went through sets of blades, and then we had sledgehammer turrets, which would knock them back into these or off into the side areas, and when they fall, they'd loop around. Works really well. Still works really well. The only downside is the sledgehammer turrets now detonate the demolishers at a higher rate than they used to. I don't know when they made the change. There's nothing, any sort of patch notes about it, but they definitely detonate the detonators a lot more than they used to. Conversely, kind of interesting side note, the shotgun turrets, the turrets, these things, those no longer detonate detonators. And again, that's not in any patch notes that I could see anywhere. But yeah, the turrets no longer detonate demolishers. I'll show you here real quick. Hold on. Forgot where I put the generators on this build that I was playing with. Let's go and turn this stuff on. I'll kind of show you guys that I can confirm for sure the turrets do not detonate the detonators. So let's just show you. I'll spawn in like 4 of them. That's fine. Get their attention. And you can kind of see the turrets are going at it. They're getting hit. They're getting shot. And I mean, the turrets used to set them off 100% of the time, and now they don't set them off. So you can use turrets in your builds again, guys. Good news. Good news. This is not the build that I'm going to be showcasing today. I just wanted to kind of show you that turrets are a thing. The idea behind this one was to kind of make a shooting gallery, you know, where they path back and forth like the old school video game shooting galleries. I mean, it works out okay, but you have to have the building materials have to be reinforced concrete or above for it to work, or they don't do the pathing correct. So that's kind of a downside. I'm still working on this one, but just wanted to kind of show you guys turrets are a thing that you can use now. But anyway, we're going to try to go over to the other base, and we're going to look at doing a Galaxy Brain version 3 is going to be our goal here. So I'm gonna do this build a little bit different than I've done my previous build guide videos. This could be a long form experimentation where we're building it out together. And then if you guys want, I can make a short and sweet schematic layout, how to build it kind of video later. But I'm gonna do a little bit of trial and error in this video. So you guys saw my previous Galaxy Brain base. It is ground level and then a fall pit and a loop around a ditch. I think that is probably the most efficient design. But we're going to mix things up a little bit on this one, and we're going to do a elevated version of it with a few other modifications. So I've kind of laid out the general gist of what they're going to walk through, which is kind of like this, but it's going to be elevated up, right? So I'm actually going to make this be the pillars that hold the base, right? And I'm just keeping this like this so I can see exactly where the blade traps are going to be for it. And I'm debating whether I leave it open for them to fall down the side, or if I force their pathing with a like a cheesy and drop. So I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. So we can put in the blade turrets, right? And then at the end here, we can make it so that they only see one option to go into. That's interesting. Can I do that? No. Okay. Can I do this, though? How's that looking spring-wise? Yeah, that's what I want. So we can make them think that there's no other viable path forward but going through the center by leaving those two blocks open, right? That way, if they do get sucked out to the side over here, they're going to like want a path through the center, but if they get sucked out to the side here, it's fine. They're just going to path around and forward. Versus if I fill these in, then they're going to path. They're just gonna go just straight forward here, and that's fine. But then they're only getting hit by one blade trap instead of two blade traps, and like obviously we want them to get hit by two blade traps, right? It's better for us. I'm actually I see I'm actually off on my location here of these wonderful little hatches. They need to be right here. And so then this needs to be blank. Yeah. There we go. The reason I'm doing hatches there instead of solid blocks is my idea was if they start building up too much and they start breaking through, I can just open up the hatches and drop them down and force them to loop without having it being an automatic infinite looping cheese base, right? So that's kind of my own little compromise to the situation because I'm not a huge fan of infinitely looping cheese bases. And this kind of allows me to have my cake and eat it too, I guess, would be the saying. We're gonna take out all this. We don't need any of that. That was just so I can map it out in my brain. All right. Now, how do we do this then? Does this does that attach? No. So we'd have to have a second pillar here for us to stand on, right? This is gonna be our player area, right? And I do like the idea of being able to walk around a screamer there and like repair electric fences and that sort of thing. So I'm thinking, I'm debating whether we leave a gap there or if we let them get sucked to the side. I'm not quite sure how I feel yet about that. I'm bury another support in here before it falls on itself. Now, zombies don't really attack these support pillars really anymore, which is good for us. If you're worried about it, you can always dig a ditch around them, and then they definitely don't do it. But my experience is they don't bother with it anymore. I don't really know why. But yeah, we'll probably make it so that when they fall here, they fall into a little collector ditch. I was off by one there. And then this little collector ditch, just probably have it go out. And then they can just loop back, right? Might actually move the pillars forward one, just to be safe. Just in case. I've not seen them attack pillars anymore for quite some time if you build it correctly, but just let's err on the side of caution here, okay? Let's just move them back 1 from the fall, just in case. But they should be going into basically this little collector system. And then they're just going to run out, and then they're going to loop and path back. That's going to be the idea. I'll give it... That should be fine, honestly. And then I've got to fill some of this in. I was playing around with demolishers to see what would explode them and what wouldn't earlier, so you can kind of see some remnants of that here when I had that down there. All right, so let's just fill this in. I mean, we could actually just fill that in with steel, but there's no real need to do that. And they're less likely to attack rock than they are man-made blocks, right? So, okay. I'm going to go this way. So we got a 2 gap from where they come out. And then we've got a 2 gap from where they come out. Perfect. Easy enough. Easy enough. Okay. Now, technically, if we want this to be the deadliest it can possibly be, we want to do a 2x2 of blade traps. So we want to do 2 sets of blade traps. But I'm kind of thinking that's a little bit harder to repair. We might just do 1 set and just make it a little bit easier to repair. So if we did that, then this would be where they come up at. Oops. Okay. It also provides additional support if they did decide to get kind of spicy and start attacking things. There's a little bit of a buffer zone where we don't have to worry about as much. We want to kind of keep them in a conga line here. We don't really want them getting any funny ideas. Yeah, I mean, I guess might as well just mirror that over here and just do centralized pillars. No need to overkill it so much, huh? It's 2x2 or 2x1. That should be sufficient support-wise. Okay. All right, so we just need to get ramps there. Or stairs, either way. I like stairs. I think they look nice. They don't have to be steel necessarily, but I mean, I guess we might as well. We are in creative mode for just the purposes of iterating and trying things out, right? So the best way I found to create bases is to just play around with it. Okay, so as soon as they get up the stairs here, they're getting chopped, right? I almost want to make them walk up into the blades. So it chops off their heads. You guys, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. Oh, that's probably a good reason why we have supports underneath the blade traps, huh? Okay. I see you. Oh, it was kind of funny. Okay. How did I have that now? Shoot. I think we had it like here was a blade trap and here was a blade trap, right? Dunk, dunk. Yes, I believe so. And then something like that. So yeah, now they're walking up and their heads are getting diced. Is the idea as they're walking in. And then when they're standing here, this is going to be where we kind of say, not in my house. So something like that. And then it's probably just, honestly, just poles would be fine. It's probably better to just use poles anyway across the entire thing because it's better visibility. Yeah, so poles are probably the way to go. They're usually the answer to most problems in this game. Got a problem? Use a pole. Okay, so thinking we do that height. I don't think dogs can fit underneath that, can they? Let's find out. Nope, that's where they get stuck. Okay, that's what I thought. Cool. So, and then we definitely don't want to leave them the option of jumping over, right? So we gotta make sure we close it. And then I kind of want to just do the old just double height thing. I think that should be fine. And what if we really lived on the edge here and you know, let's just so we don't collapse things again, we'll just go ahead and add a straight, like we'll just add a straight line so it gives us a little bit of room to play with here. We have plenty of support. There's no potential collapses as I'm fiddling with things. Okay. What if we took these and we actually recessed ourselves by half of a block? So what I'm thinking is those get replaced with steel half blocks. And my reasoning for this is if you do that, you actually can have turret traps right above your head or dart traps above your head and not get shot. So if we're doing that, actually, then I kind of like the idea of moving the poles up one so we have better line of sight. Let's just go ahead and get those tools steady. So let's do something like that. That won't be floating later, don't worry. Yeah, it's better line of sight like that. Okay. And so I'll kind of show you what I mean here. So let's say behind us, if we wanted to put a dart trap, we could without it shooting us in the head. So we could have that, and then let's throw in some steel darts. Okay, so whatever. Let's lock those in. Lock those in. All right. And get a generator. And then we'll wire up the generator with some engines and all that. But this is like, oh, where do we put the generator? And we could actually, if we were to just put recess the generator right here and then just do like a hatch to access it. That way it's protected from like zombie spit and stuff. Actually, we don't even need a hatch. We just put a steel plate over top there, right? That way zombie spit can't destroy it. Okay. Well, it was a cool idea. There we go. Yeah, and we can get to it. And we can wire up those bad boys. Doesn't look terrible because it's kind of going through the floor, right? We could even further customize it by putting like a relay down here on the ground, so it looks even neater. But I mean, I don't think that's strictly speaking necessary, so we're not going to worry about that at the moment. But if I wire those up and I get an engine in there, a couple engines, and I refuel it and turn it on, you can see the dart traps are shooting and I am not dying. Now, if I jump, I'll certainly get hit. Or if I step forward into this, if I'm not in the center, I'll get hit. But as long as I'm in this area, I'm good, or in the center. So I think that's kind of a cool design thing. I'm actually wondering if we replace these with half blocks, if it'll mess up and let the zombies through. Let's find out, because I'm curious. So can we do half blocks here, or is that gonna cause an issue? Let's see, I think it's gonna cause an issue. Okay, so let's go ahead and spawn another zombie dog. Sure. Say, come here, Fido. He's gonna jump up. He's gonna try to go around the side. You silly dog. You silly dog, you succeeded. All right. Let's build out a wall there so that he doesn't think that that's an option anymore. All right, let's try that again. We got our gate, our fences in place. Beautiful. All right. What's he gonna do? Okay, cool. So those should not be there because we want to force him into center. One more time. Okay, it actually doesn't cause an issue. What if I do this? If I open the door... Okay, he just falls down. That's 100% what we wanted. And then he should just loop back, right? What's he biting? I feel like I should see what he was biting down there. Oh, did you see that? He slipped through when I opened the doors that time. Because we have the half blocks there. So half blocks will not work there. What if we did like a wedge tip? That could potentially work. And let's go and turn this on so we can see where exactly we start getting shot. Oh, right away. Okay. That doesn't do us any good, to be honest. I thought that was going to work out a little better than it did, so maybe we do the flagstone wedge tips instead. Oh, those are too low. Those are like... Those only come up to the half block height total. I think, unfortunately, it's just going to have to be that you can't go all the way forward there. That's what it's kind of looking like. We do something like that and throw it upside down. It's kind of neat. And from their perspective, yeah, there's no way that they could pass through that. I don't know if that really works for us, though, because as soon as we get up here, there's going to be biting us in the face, right? If it's a dog. If it's a regular zombie... Just tried to jump. Interesting. Oh, it's because this isn't closed off here. She thought she could make the jump. That's funny. There we go. Oh, she doesn't see a viable path because those are not pathable blocks. Interesting. Okay. Or is it because that's open? There she is. She gonna run around? Or is she gonna try to attack us? Attack the pillars? She's attacking the pillars because it's open. Okay. So if we're gonna open the hatches, we have to close them right away afterwards. We don't want that screamer. We're not ready for screamers right now. All right. So perhaps wiring up those hatches to a power source, having it be, we can trigger it by stepping on the plate. And then if we step on the plate, it opens those. I think that'll work. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, yes, I think doing the plate thing will work. And I kind of want to put these little like half block things in here as just a guide to stop myself from getting shot in the face. I think that will actually do it. Let's see. So if I go all the way over to the side here and I step forward, yeah. So those little half blocks are exactly where those would be. Now I could still sidestep my way in front by accident. But as long as I'm just like, no, it doesn't work. Darn. I was hoping that would provide us enough of a guide that we could like save ourselves from ourselves kind of thing, you know? Darn. I mean, there's nothing saying we have to have those dart traps like that. Those dart traps could certainly be on the side instead and just shoot forward. Like that's definitely 100% an option. This just provides us with 2 squares worth of dart traps for one, and then we could get both this and to the side. But I can just see myself or someone else doing something stupid with those, and maybe we should just get rid of that altogether, honestly. Yeah. We'll just drop those dart traps and we'll just go with ones on the side just to be safe. All right, so after thinking about it, I'm going to leave an air gap here. If they get stuck to the side, they're going to fall down. That's I think what I'm deciding to do. So that's fine. The only downside to that is cops. It could cause cops to explode when we don't want them to. But I mean, I think that's a risk we end up having to take here. All right, so that goes there, and then I think we just do pillar here. That's like right in their path, isn't it? So is that. Okay. But we have to have a walkway anyway, right? This will be arrow slits. And then this will be the electric fences. Might want to bring them down 1 square, actually. We do electric fences and then triggers and dart traps. Yeah. So this actually needs to come down 1 square. So weird, but I think this is how we want to have it. Yeah. Because we're going to have the electric fences kind of recessed down. That's fine. And then kind of behind that, we'll just have a normal, like, pathing. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. And perhaps right here is where our pillar of support is. I think that's fine. It's even with the other one as well. And of course, we're going to want to close it off. So we don't want the zombies to think they can jump there. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, cool. And then close that off. We want to have another row of traps here, and then I probably honestly want a walkway behind that. And then we'll do the wall. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. Okay. Alrighty. So dart traps are going to go at the 2 height. And then we're gonna have like trip posts at the 1 height. That's why we had to have that second layer there. I mean, we could actually have trip post. I think the trip post will block the dart traps. I'm not sure though. Let's find out. Let's go and wire it in. Just go straight into it. Turn it on. Yes, the trip post is definitely blocking the dart trap. Okay. I thought that would be the case. So yeah, the trip posts have to be down below. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine, honestly. So we only need 3 trip posts, and we have to mirror the same design on the other side so that we can have the electric fences. So, all right. So we go over 1 from the wall, and then we drop down 1. So over 1 from the wall, and then we drop down 1. We're leaving an air gap. Okay. And then we're dropping down for the electric fences. Okay. This is where we have the arrow traps. And those can be too high. That's fine. Okay. Electric fences are going to go right there. And then I think this is where we had the support pillar right there. Yeah. It doesn't look like we need to go down as far as I went there. So fix that. Straight over from there, we do need that. And then, I mean, we might as well just get a backup support pillar just in case right there, right? Maybe one more over. There we go. We'll just make sure that we are properly supported here. All right. That looks pretty decent. And then we're just going to close that off. We don't want them to be shooting acid up at us when we're in the repair pits, right? Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, and then up. Should be right there. Beautiful. We are not ready for a horde right now. We will be testing it, but just not there at this exact moment in time. All right. Honestly, that's probably about where we want to leave it. I don't think we need a whole lot of space beyond what we've already had laid out here. So we can just put the back wall right there. That should be fine. That leaves us plenty of space to walk. I know this is a bit of a longer video, but you guys can kind of see the process I go through when I'm making a build now. I do a lot of like build guides, but I don't think I've ever done one of these long form videos where you guys get to see the whole process. So now let me know if you like it or if you don't like it. I will probably end up doing a build guide for this as well later, where I can kind of organize it and lay it out for you. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good here. So the dart traps are going to go like so. And then the tripwires are going to go like so. Okay. And then we just got to kind of wire it up. I think, use a relay here. Kind of organize it up a little bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a relay at each of the back corners just for wire organizational purposes. And then one in the center there. And one in the center there, because you can walk over top of these just fine. So that allows us to still get back here, repair things as we need to, safely and easily. I think that's fine. All right, so let's cut the existing wires that we have because we're going to use these relays. I'm going to cut this, yes. So we're going to relay to this, and we're going to take it from this relay to here. So this is our main power line. It's almost like this is a generator in and of itself, just sitting right there, right? And then that is going to go to the electric fences because they have to be always powered. And then that's also going to go to the blade trap because it also has to be always powered, right? Then we're going to take and we're going to add power sources to each of the trip wires. One trip wire straight across to the other trip wire. And we do that for all 3 tripwires. And the tripwires are going to be what triggers the dart traps. Beautiful. And then we go from the tripwire to the dart trap, from the tripwire to the dart trap, from the tripwire to the dart trap. We take our primary source power on the fences and we create the actual electric fence. And you can tell it's blue. That's how it's it's the electric fence and not just a power wire. Power wires are yellow and black. So we got that. It's going to be quite the nice little compact deadly base, I think. Hopefully. And if everything works out the way it should, the blade trap should have power, the electric fences should have power, but the dart traps should not. So we can take a second, we can load up the dart traps with darts. Beautiful. Okay. Let's do the same thing over here. Oh, you know what? We have to relay the trigger to the ones on the left, don't we? It's gonna be some wizardry. How are we gonna do that? Well, we could do it with a series of just relays. Or we could just go straight across. I mean, how bad is it going to look to go straight across? Let's see. How does this look right now? Looks pretty clean at the moment. I feel like if I go straight across with the dart trap wire... yeah. Oh, well, that's going to the wrong one, so ignore that. How does that look? Get out of wiring mode here and just kind of look. Now, first of all, I see one issue in that the blade trap on the right's not spinning. That'll allow me to test this electric fence, though. It's working, okay. Did I not? Oh, I didn't wire power to that side, that's why. And then that goes to the electric, or to the blade trap, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it looks okay to just string the wire through. I kind of don't love it, but I think it's fine because we're also going to have a second layer of blade traps on top there. And so there's going to be some wires going between those anyway. So it should look fairly normal, I think, actually. And I think it'll be fine. All right, so now we create a roof. Of course, the roof is always too high. Zombies are exactly 2 blocks tall, so if you go too high, it stops them from being able to climb on top of each other and pile up. So that's kind of what you want to do in general. It also allows us to just wedge that blade trap in very nicely. So we're gonna put a second layer of those in. Right there and right there. That should be just perfectly aligned. Yep. And then we'll just take the power from the bottom one and run it to the top one, or alternatively, I'm actually not going to do that. I changed my mind because if a cop or something, or a zombie in general, just takes out the bottom one, I want the top ones to still have power. So let's create a second power source from there. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And then we'll take and wire the relay. And we're going to need more engines. That's why that one is not spinning, I think. Just kidding. Why is that one not spinning? It's got power. Did I wire it to the wrong one? Maybe. That one doesn't have power either. Are these... They're wire relays. Those should have power. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. All right. Let's add a couple engines and see if it fixes the issue. Oh, it's capped. Yeah, it's capped on power. Yeah, now they're all spinning. That was the issue. Okay. That looks a little bit like a hot wired mess. We could clean it up a little bit by taking and adding relays for the dart traps so that they don't stretch all the way across. We'd have to have one relay for each dart trap. And it kind of becomes a bit of a relay cluster. I mean, we could do that, and then it would look a little bit cleaner out there. And it would look a little bit messier back here. Yeah. I mean, it's fully functional the way it is now, but I guess we could do that. How am I going to do this so I can remember what goes where? 1, 2, 3. One. Oh, see, I'm already confused by what I'm doing. No, forget it. We're not going to do that. It's too much. It's too much. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. I do actually kind of still like having this like this, so I can just drop down and hit the dogs more easily. And I can still stand in melee. So I guess it'll also make it easier to take out like spider zombies. So I actually kind of like that little half block drop still. It also gives us easy access to the generator should we need it, while still keeping the generator pretty protected. So I kind of like that. All right, so next step is we close off the roof. We don't want birds attacking us or our dart traps. So let's go ahead and close that off. And then I think we add a vulture grinder right above our heads. So it's been a while since I've done this, but I believe if I use quarter blocks, it works for us. We go like... I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I repositioned where the support pillars are, so they're out quite a bit more. Added extra support pillars. We're adding in archways just for aesthetics, honestly. No real reason other than that. Just because I think it looks nice. It doesn't add anything to the build itself. I like it, so you know, I'm doing it. Is not what we wanted. And we need to add an additional support pillar here. I feel like something's off here because on the other side it was just right. And on this side, I think we are off by 1 here. I think this should be back 1 more square. Yeah. Yep. Because that's how it should look. And that way we have the same supports on either side, right? Yeah. Those are in line with each other. So it should be symmetrical. Yes, that's what we want. Symmetry. I went ahead and redid all the wiring. This is purely aesthetic. Rather than just running the wires from the tripwire to dart trap and then from dart trap straight across, I just added a relay wire behind each dart trap and then created a circuit series over to the other set of dart traps just so it goes around the back rather than through the center where the zombies are, just so I have better line of sight with the zombies. It actually doesn't change how I would shoot them or how they would get hit. It just makes it visually less cluttered for me. It just kind of tucks the wires back here behind us so I don't have to deal with it. You do not have to do that. I just did it because I wanted to. And since I was redoing a bunch of stuff anyway with the support pillars and I had to rebuild everything, I figured might as well, right? And then I did a little archway here, and instead of full blocks, I did little sheet metal so that it would lay flat and look a little bit better aesthetically. These should never take hits from zombies, so that should be perfectly fine. I mean, we could upgrade it just in case, but they should never take hits. And then we'll probably paint everything too, just to make it look a little nicer. But now let's go to the part where everything collapsed in on us, which was when we were adding in the ceiling. And let's just be a little bit systematic about what we're doing here so that hopefully that does not happen again. Actually, gonna go 1 higher on this outside section than we will everywhere else. And I do have a reason for that, because this extra set of relays that I put in makes it so I have to put the roof 1 higher. If you don't put in the extra set of relays, you don't need to do this. But since I did, I do. It's not that big of a deal, really. I guess I could do like something like that. That looks kind of nice. Looks somewhat like pagoda-ish. I like that, actually. And then build out our roof straight across. Nice. And then this needs to be the same height as it was before, though. It should be right there at that 2 high. Straight across. And I think that's all the higher we have to go with it. Well, let's just take it all the way just in case. That way we don't get spiders jumping in unexpectedly. That should be fine, though. We're missing a block there, looks like. Let's put that in there. All right. Cool. And then we'll just do the same thing over here. Again, kind of aesthetics. And also just because I did it weird over here, or with like the wire relays. So it kind of puts us in a situation where we gotta do something, so we might as well make it look nice. There we go. Okay, it's all the way across. And I guess I should Go like that there too. It does look like here we have those. There we go. Have a little archway there. All right. There's got to be a little block that we can put in the corners there. I'm just not sure what it is, but that's not that important. Okay, this is the part where we collapsed the roof on ourselves before. We're gonna be a little bit careful here, but the basic idea of what I want to do is I want to get quarter blocks there. And please do not collapse my entire build. I'm going to be so upset if you do. We added a ton of extra support, so we should be okay. Okay, good. Although, I don't think we have the right blocks right now. I think we wanted the non-centered versions. Yeah, that's the centered version. We need quarter blocks non-centered. That's the centered one. That's the one we want. I want it top aligned. And then the rest of it is just solid. We could give ourselves a little access hatch. Should we want to get up there, I guess. I don't foresee a real reason why we would need to. But I suppose if we wanted to like chop apart the vultures, that would be nice. So let's put that there. And then goes like that and like that. Okay, cool. So the vultures try to get us flying down through there. And up above, we put blade traps. You could also just do, oof. That's death waiting to happen. Let's be smart about this. I mean, I guess if you just put it like that, you have it kind of covered, don't you? There's... Honestly, just do one from each angle, just to be safe. I think we only need one, to be honest, but we'll throw in two just so we can catch them approaching at any angle. And then we'll just go and we climb up our ladder, which we haven't put in yet. We'll just wire those up. There we go. And then you just come back down. Oh, that's the powered version. Hold on. Is that what we want? We want just the regular version. Perfect. And then if we put in ladders, oh, we can't get a ladder there because of where the hatch is. Okay. So the hatch has got to go on the top, right? That's fine. There is definitely the ability to do so. That way we can get up there for repairs if we need to. I suppose that would be the reason. I really actually think we only need one set of blade or one blade trap up there. I don't think we need two. One should be sufficient. Okay. So we do want to get a second set of blade traps for in here. For up top there. And then that's it. That's the last thing. Okay. And take the, top power supply run that I did over to there. And then we did a top power supply run here. over to there. And we are set. So let's get out actual, like, reasonable weaponry. Use any of the cheater weapons. I mean, probably Molotovs. Let's up the difficulty a little bit. This is quite a long video, but I mean, I even paused for the hour that I was rebuilding, and you guys didn't have to sit through that. So, you can kind of see how long these builds take just to get the initial plan, and then the process of actually making the build guides takes like 6 or 7 hours per build guide. So, like, it takes a long time. It takes like a full day's work to make these, and that's why I'm not making them much right now, because I'm working like 70 hours a week as a manager. So but I mean, I figured let's get a little bit of long form content out there, because it'll set up this in the league video, maybe a TFT video are gonna be like the only videos on my channel for like a couple weeks. So I mean, I feel like it's okay if it's a little bit longer, because then people can sit there and watch it for a little bit longer. But all right, so this is insane difficulty with 64 zombies. I don't know if this is strong enough to handle that. We will find out. We'll find out. I have a feeling it is not. I think we would have to have 2 sets of 2 blade traps in order for it to be strong enough to handle that. But we will see. This is certainly strong enough to handle normal difficulty 64 zombies, or 32 zombies at insane. I'm just not sure about 64. So we're going to find out. I do think I should actually put an additional layer of bars in as a backup too. I mean, honestly though, if they break through, they're gonna probably be through anyway. But just because I think that this would be a wise life decision, we'll go ahead and do that. Getting a little laggy here. A cop exploded on me already, because I wasn't repairing things. All right, hold on. I was building. We're gonna reset here. Hold on. I was building. Not a fair test. I mean, actually, it kind of is, because if it's weak enough that a cop can explode without dying, then we have an issue, right? We don't want that to be the case. So in that case, what I think we'll do is we will drop the air gap on the sides and let them pile up in front, so more of them can pile up on us, which is a little bit counterintuitive, but we still have the hatches that we can drop the middle. We can drop them down if we want to. So I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and put the blade traps in. We gotta replace the 2 that got knocked out there. I have a feeling all of our tripwires and everything else should still be fine. So I think we're fine there. Of course, there had to be a shovel. There we go. Okay, so let's rewire that to there, and rewire that to there. Okay, so that does mean, honestly, we could do the powered hatches. You could just flip a switch. I mean, that could be kind of fun. So let's plan on doing that. We put the switch over here so it's not killable by cop vomit, right? We don't want cop vomit to be able to kill any of our electronics. Should probably check the durability of all these things. The cop did explode, right? Doesn't look like he did really any damage, other than just taking out that one blade trap. So I think that's fine. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do the powered hatches instead of the regular hatches here. So I'm going to copy the rotation of the ones I have. We're actually going to put them all the way across, which is not what I was thinking about doing originally, but sometimes plans change, and that is perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the power from our primary power source here, and we're just going to go to the very first powered hatch, and we're just going to circuit it straight through. Just create just an assembly line, basically. So we flip this, and it opens them. All of them open. We flip it, all of them close. It gives us the ability to drop zombies if we should need to. We're looking fine down here still. That didn't take any major damage. We could even, honestly, we could put like blade traps down here. So if we have to drop them, they drop onto blade traps. Like, we could do that. That way no like cop zombies can explode on the bottom. It's not a terrible idea, actually. I actually really like that idea. And this is like kind of a backup anyway. So this is a worst case scenario. So the run up. The only thing I don't like about that is it does put them a little bit closer to the danger zone there, but I think it's okay. So I think what I'd do is do one there, and then one there. Where are we getting caught there? Right there? I can't tell. There we go. I went one too deep there. Okay. And then we have to be able to give them the ramp back up, right? We do want them to have the ability to run back up. Do we? Or do we want... Yeah, honest, this is just a death... No, this can be just a death pit. Like, if we have to drop them down here, we want them to die. This is like a last resort. We have no other options. Pop a roach, cut my life into pieces kind of thing. We gotta call this a death box. Honestly, this is probably overkill, but for 64 zombies, maybe it's not, you know? Maybe it's not. I'm gonna be real careful about how we do this part, though. Don't love the fact that we're getting into primary support territory over there. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and extend that straight through. That way they can't accidentally fall and get caught under the lip there. Alright. That's fine. It's fine. Okay. Alright. And we just have to wire that up. Just grab it from primary power. Easy enough. All right. I mean, we could put a relay in here, but we don't really want it down here because then it's vulnerable to zombies. We'd have to like make a relay junction box. And I just think that's going to add potential for badness. So we're gonna not do that. I actually think I should grab power from this side too. And just have it, yeah, be one from each side. Keeps with the symmetry of the situation as well. Okay. So when they get to here and they walk in to get their heads chopped, I see there's a nice little section here where they're not getting hit. So that's kind of a downside to doing it this way, I guess. Maybe we should have them just straight away into the head chopping. And just have it be even there. And then just because we have the overhead ones here, right? So as soon as they step forward here, they get electrocuted. Dart traps start, and then they start getting chopped as they take another step forward. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I kind of liked it the way it was. Yeah, we're gonna keep it the way it was. I'm overthinking it, I feel like. No, just kidding. Because that gives them more opportunity to melee the tire, right? And we don't want them meleeing the tire. Okay. That should be fine. Great. All right. Let's try this out. Get rid of that. Grab some pipe bombs. Grab some Molotovs. And let's go ahead and get it onto the Horde. So this is 64 zombies insane difficulty. It is as hard as it gets. Our game stage is crazy high at 307 with 14,000 enemy kills. We've tested a lot on this world. So this is like literally as hard as it gets. Times like 5, right? So do keep that in mind as we're doing this. This is like the extreme of the extreme. I need more bullets. I have no bullets. It looks like it's working pretty well so far. We do need to keep things repaired, though, in order for it to continue working. That is a central tenet of this base, is the blade traps, right? That's the other reason why we only did one set. Of blade traps. So it was easier to repair. You can also melee through if they can get close enough, but it looks like they're dying before they even get close enough, so that's fine with me. Let's go ahead and dump the dogs. Looks like we had a cop explode, maybe? Nope. Just kidding, we're good. That was just a vulture falling down. Alright. Okay, we're doing good so far. They're starting to pile up a little more, means something's probably needing repaired. No, I think it's just because we're on insane difficulty with 64 zombies. So here's where the melee's coming in handy, right? I do not have a rad remover on my tool. It's just, strictly speaking, lighting them on fire. It does look like a zombie cop spit took out a blade trap, unfortunately. So that is the downside still. With this many zombies and insane difficulty, it's definitely a possibility. We're starting to pile up a little bit too much, so let's just dump what was there, let them die down below. We don't want to have to do that too often. But I mean, we will need to do it when necessary, right? Vultures up above getting sliced and diced. Hilarity ensued. Go ahead and drop. What we have building up there. There's getting to be a few too many cops for my comfort. Definitely need to make sure this stays repaired. These guys are not getting chopped like they should be getting chopped. Interesting. Alright, let's rewind this. Let's have a look downstairs first of all and see if our blade traps down here survived fine. That looks like they didn't take too much damage, so that works out. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they're not getting chopped when they're standing right here. I feel like they should be. Definitely should be getting chopped standing right here. It actually looks like in the center, in this very center spot here, they can stand without getting chopped. I mean, you still get chopped by the darts, but they don't get chopped unless they're back just a little. Interesting. I wonder how I can address that. I guess the main way to address that would be to take out the center standing spots and force them to the sides. Which is the opposite of what I was thinking I should do before. But now that I'm seeing that, I'm thinking that might be the way to go. The only downside to that is it kind of leaves them the opportunity to beat on these sidewalls, which I really don't want them to do. Let's see how they path like that. What's she gonna do? Alright, she's actually gonna fall down below and die. Okay. So she thought she could run straight to me, and she just fell to her death down below. That's interesting. That's not really what we want. Oh, right. Just kidding. We come from that instead. Yeah, I don't like that. Let me think. I'm gonna think about this for a second. Pause the video. Okay. So I added an extra layer of blade traps. So as they come up the stairs, when they hit this point and they walk up, They're gonna get choppy. Hopefully that helps cut down the quantity that we receive towards the end. And then I think we're just gonna leave that open so that if they don't die by the time they get to the opening here, they will eventually fall down into the death trap down below. I feel like that might be too much damage on that death trap down below, though. Scratch that. We're gonna put those hatches back in. And I mean, I guess it'll just kind of be what it'll be. If they start piling up too much, we'll just open the hatch like we did before. So let's go ahead and give that a go. See if that works out a little bit better. I think it might. It might work out a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and give it a go. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into Horde. We got bullets. Let's go and repair this. We do have a rad remover on that, it looks like. We just don't have it on the mace. We'll kind of actively defend a little bit more this time too. Kind of stay ahead of it a little bit. It's when they start piling up right here that the issue is. So maybe if we just stand to the side, they kind of make their way over a little bit more. That might be the play. Yeah, that definitely looks like that's the way to go. Oh yeah, that's definitely the way to go. So we could just even, yeah, it works much better like that. I should just really be tagging the guys who are radioactive with my rifle. That way they lose their regeneration, right? This seems to be working out pretty well. I don't really love the idea of that radiated cop there, so we'll just go ahead and drop him. Looks like we got another one right away. Last one should be dead by now. Let's go ahead and drop the next set. Looks like our electric fences do need some repairs. Looks like we lost an electric fence one of these times. So we should probably put that back in. This side. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's going pretty well. One side starts to wear out, you just start dragging to the other side. That seems to work out pretty well. It'd be nice to maybe do like arrow slits here so we can repair the frontal blade traps a little easier. We might need to extend out that walkway a little bit just for that purpose. And I think we have our base design, guys. We're taking on 64 zombies, insane difficulty, 308 game stage. Looks like this does it. It does look like we have a little bit of power generation issues. We didn't have full engines in our generator, so I suppose that kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and turn it off, throw that in, turn it on. Should help fix that issue. I also ran a bunch of unnecessary power with relays, but looks like we're good now. I just noticed one of the blade traps wasn't spinning there for a second and it wasn't broken. That one is on the back side, but there's no way for us to reach it, unfortunately, I don't think. Maybe if we're real careful here. Yeah, I think we just need to extend it out a little bit more. That little repair duct, so we can get over to that front set of blade traps to repair them. And if we do that, we should be good. Oh, he actually got through there. Most of them have been dying. Every so often you might get one that glitches through, I guess. Overall, though, loot pinatas. We seem to be doing just fine. So yeah, alright, this looks like a winner. This one looks like it can handle the highest difficulty horde with the highest number of zombies just fine. We're at about 100,000 experience. If you ever start feeling overwhelmed, you can just drop zombies with the switch. Maybe if you get some demolishers in there and you're like, no thank you. You drop them. Hell, we'll just spawn in a few demolishers. Just see how it works out. Get them up here. Down just fine, no big deal. They went down fine. Alright. Three of them. Two of them are still up. There goes one. There goes the other. Yeah, so demolishers are no problem. The zombie cop spit can be a bit of a problem sometimes, it looks like. But yeah, so I think we're good though. I stopped attacking things. Can't stop attacking things on max difficulty. Alright. So it looks like this base will hold up, but there is one modification I would make before we make this into like a build guide video. Is we're going to want to extend this out because we need to be able to repair those front blade traps. It's actually like super important, I think. If we can't repair those, then eventually we will start to fall. The base will start to fall. So how we accomplish that's really simple. We just extend this out 2 more blocks. Easy enough. I don't think we have to go that high, but no, actually we do. I was wrong. Okay. Cool. And come on the inside and just make a little pathway here. Set. That isn't attached anywhere. Okay. That's fine. You can still walk through this back. Obviously, we're not going to walk through there, but... And we just use, like, arrow slits so that we can repair through it. Yeah, I think that's really important to be able to do that. Probably want to do the same thing here, to be honest, so we can just come up and repair through there as well if we need to. Yeah, just come over to side areas if we have to repair, and that should work out fine. Okay. Cool, so this will have to extend over as well. can repair through here if we need to. Good. Okay. And then I did let the cops explode and destroy the stuff at the very end, so we need to replace this. And we'll test it one more time. But I think being able to get out there and repair those front blade traps will make a lot of difference. Because they're pretty important. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to clear out those bags and pause the video. Okay, let's go ahead and do that one more time. I think we should be just fine. Just being able to walk around and repair things should be key to our survival. One thing we could do to make this deadlier if we wanted to is we could make the ceiling tiles here. We can make those dart traps and have them shoot straight down at zombies as they run through. That is another thing we could do. I'm kind of partial to not doing that just because it's a lot more dart ammunition you have to use. But, I mean, if you needed it to be more deadly, you could do that. All right, let's go and jump on in to Horde Night and just see how it goes. Let's make sure we have bullets before we get rolling here, huh? Oh, I'm on the wrong day. All right, Horde Day, here we go. We're gonna spawn, right? Yeah. Game stage 308. We're at an hour and a half, so this will be the last test for this. I'm pretty confident to say that this base could handle pretty much anything if you're actively defending with it. Honestly, if you stand to the side here, it's going to be even better. Because then the zombie cops aren't going to be like firing their acid at the blade traps. You just pretty much have to worry about keeping things repaired. Oh, nice. You can get both sets of blade traps from right here. And we just literally have to play doctor and repair out those blade traps, and you're all set. Alright, these ones are doing fine, it looks like. The only thing about if you're over here repairing the blade traps, the zombie vultures would be attacking the ceilings over here instead of over where your dart trap is meant to slice and dice them up. So I guess that is a downside to doing it that way. So I guess maybe just go over there when you really need to. I guess if you see zombie cops, you can just kind of strafe to the side and just line of sight them. This is only if you're playing on max difficulty, max zombie spawn. Most people don't play on that. This base will cover everybody, honestly. So, I mean, I wouldn't call this my ultimate base, but this is a nice evolution of the Galaxy Brain base to be able to handle max difficulty, max zombies. Oh shoot, my phone's ringing. Sorry, guys. Nope, we gotta go repair. These are still looking good. Okay. I think if you just lean towards one side, you just kind of focus on repairing that one side. And then if you end up losing any, you can just lean towards the other side. But it looks like with those side repair additions that I made, it's pretty easy to get over there, keep it repaired, keep it up and running so that you don't end up losing any. And if you start to feel overwhelmed, of course, you can just drop the zombies down. It's no big deal. And then catch back up. $105,000 XP. Oops. Those look like our electric fences are starting to break down, so let's go ahead and repair those. Saw the little sparks there. What the heck? Let's throw a Molotov in just for good measure, eh? I'm a big fan of the Molotovs. Make sure to keep these bad boys repaired up. Hey, doing good. Make sure to keep that up and running. Might add like a little safety rail in here so you don't accidentally step in front of the dart trap and kill yourself. Might not be a bad idea. Because I could see you doing that in the heat of the moment, not thinking about it. We didn't have any cops explode at all. The spit issues were taken care of just with the fact that we didn't have to worry about them spitting because they're being like perma-locked by the blade traps now. So that's good. Does look like we might have lost a single blade trap right there. Bit of a bummer, but not the end of the world, certainly. Looks like we're doing just fine. I don't know if Molotovs set off demolishers. I have not tested that, so we're not going to risk it. Go ahead and filter this down a little. Okay, doing good. So yeah, this is the strongest horde in the game at the max difficulty. At a extremely high game stage of 15,000 kills, game stage 309. So it does not get much harder than that. You little sneaky beaky. He got his legs chopped off and now he is trying to kill me. And he might succeed. That was pretty evil. Looks like we have a number of legs chopped off people. Let's just go and drop them. Drop them down. Let's go ahead and start leaning more towards the right-hand side instead. Drop some of those. Oh shit. Molotovs do set it off. Alright, don't throw Molotovs at demolishers. Lesson learned, but the base works. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Just don't throw Molotovs directly at the red button on a demolisher. Oh, that's funny. Okay. We would have been fine had I not done that. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. That base does seem to work, so ignore my stupidity. Otherwise, it works out just fine. 4 blade traps top, 4 blade traps bottom. Obviously, that demolisher I blew up at the end destroyed our blade traps. You recess down the electric fences by 1, dart traps, trip wires. I did all the relays because I'm fancy. You don't have to do that though. And yeah, down below we have a nice little kill pit, so if things get overwhelming, we can just drop them down into the kill pit. So like, favorite, share, subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time. Enjoy.